anyone noticed that we've changed up our welcome, but we had to make a good impression for Krystal Brown, who was in the house. Welcome, Krystal Brown!
Woo! I'm here finally.
Finally, we are so excited to have you. Oh my gosh. All right. So first off, let me just say it's Slice of Pie. This is Teen Thursday. This is where we talk about teens, to teens, organizations that support teens and young adults, young professionals. And I'm here, I'm Shelly Jeffcoat. Please like, love, and share the video so they don't kick us off the channel. Bella, do you want to do the intro? Welcome, Miss Krystal Brown.
Woo, woo. Yeah, of course. That was weird. Anyway.
That was the music.
Yeah, no, I got started for a second. I was like, what was it? Anyway. All right, we gotta welcome Miss Krystal Brown. Woo! Woo! We're so happy to have you here today. Miss Krystal Brown is the CEO and owner of Next Stage Customs, established in 2021. It is an organization that aids through scholarships and financial education.
It's much more than that. We're going to get into the deets. So first of all, we can't actually see who are all in the room because we're on multi-channels. So if you're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and LinkedIn, welcome. Drop your comments in the chat because again, we really can't. We don't have access to see all that. So welcome anybody who's here. And before we move into what you do, Krystal, we wanted to find out a little bit more about what Next Stage Customs is. So what is that, and how did you do this amazing nonprofit? What is Next Stage, and how did you get involved? How did you kick this off?
Well, Next Stage Customs, like Bella said, at its surface level, we provide scholarship opportunities to non-traditional students. However, we do a lot more because the whole goal is it's a phased approach. You know, first thing is like, okay, let's get down the scholarships. So we're giving our first scholarships this year. We're going to award them November 5th at a brunch that we're having, which we'll talk more about later. But second stage is to be able to give guidance to second chance students. You know, so what I mean by second chance is people that maybe are homeless, or people who are single custodial parents, or people who are who got a GED instead of a high school diploma. People who graduated 10 years ago from high school, 10 plus years ago from high school, and now they've decided it's time to go to college for the first time. So, wow. Those types of folks are who we're targeting in terms of, second chances and non-traditional students. And we want to give them scholarships, but we also want to give them guidance. People don't always know where to go to get the help that they need. So we want to be that resource so that we can help. Like, you need to take a GED class to help pass. Okay, here, go to this area or go to this organization. Oh, you're homeless, you need somewhere to stay. Okay, go here. You need assistance with food, go here. So we want to be able to do that. And then third phase is to open a storefront so that we have the same second chance people that can be paid to staff our store and make customized goods and sell them.
Wow.
All the funds go back into the organization. So phased approach, no timeline, because I don't believe in timelines. I believe things will happen when they're supposed to happen. So
yes,
I give it 100% every day. So, if it doesn't happen for 5 years, great. But if it happens next year, let's go. I'm ready.
I love that. How did you even get involved? Like, what made you say this is a need that must be met? Like, how did you even get to this?
So I was a second chance student. I had my daughter when I was 18 years old, and my uncle, I remember it like it was yesterday. He drove up and he just looked at me and shook his head and said, "You're just gonna be a statistic." I was like, I like challenges. So when he did that actually motivated me more. So not only, he was right, I was a statistic, but in the wrong way of what he was talking about. I have my bachelor's, I've got my master's, I got 3 certifications, and I raised my child on my own. So, I was a statistic. And so that's
that.
That's why I was like, tell me what else I can't do. Tell me what else. But no, that's what made me want to do second chances. And then my grandmother, who passed away in 2016, her parents couldn't afford to send her to college. And so she and my grandfather made sure that all 7 of their children had enough money to be able to go to college if they wanted to. That was very important to her. And so that's how I came with the scholarships, because I wanted to do something in honor of her in that realm or that sector. So I just kind of combined a couple things. I combined, my life story and, everything that touched me, and I kind of combined it into one picture. And that's how we birthed Next Stage.
Wow. And that has so much heart. I always like to ask people what their origin story is, because then you can find the heart of why they do it. And when you understand the why behind it, then the rest of us kind of fall in line, because you just naturally want to support Next Stage because of the why behind, the why behind the why. All right, Bella, I'm going to throw back to you. What's up? What's next?
All right. So next question, how do you define a non-traditional student?
So I think we hit that, right? Is that we hit on that.
And we had a few more that I think I left out. Let me see. I said homeless.
GED.
Graduated high school 10 plus years ago. GED. Single custodial parent. Orphaned 22 years of age or younger.
Okay.
That was one I left out. But yeah, those type of students, and that can all be found on the website as well. If you look under the scholarships tab, we have defined it there. And again, and not saying that those are the only types of non-traditional students there are, because there are many, but we will continue to grow and learn and maybe encompass more, so that we can touch more people as we can, continue. But that's our starting point for non-traditional.
Okay.
Love that. And her website has been linked in the chat. So if you want to go visit that after the show, then please feel free to. It is an amazing site, an amazing company. Please support her. She is awesome.
Bella's stamp of approval.
I got the stamp. I'm taking it. I'm
stamp.
You got the stamp.
We need to get like one of those, how Charles Barkley, the guarantee stamps. We need to get Bella one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no! Now got a to do.
Yep. Add it to the list.
Gotta get on it. Okay. Let's see. What do you enjoy the most about serving teens?
Most teens are still a blank slate. They are like clay. They are still able to be molded and shaped, and they're imperfect just like the rest of us, but they are still so impressionable to where most of them haven't been scarred beyond measure, and it's still a chance. Even if you take that step off the path, it's like, okay, no, let's get back on. And I love teaching. I didn't want to be a teacher, and I still don't, but I love this type of teaching because there were a lot of bumps in my road. My road wasn't easy. I mean, I love my path because it brought me to where I am. And what I know and what I've learned is that if I fall today, I don't have to fall all the way to the bottom, because I took the time to, face adversity and take those rungs of each ladder to climb up. And so if I fall, I can grab on this next rung versus somebody who was just given everything and they don't have anything that they built on top of. They were just sat there. So when they fall, it's just down. So with teens, it's like you can teach them to build. You can teach them, give them that knowledge. You can give them that foundation. You still have that as a chance to, help them grow. Adults, you can do that somewhat with adults, but it's not as easy because they've got a lot of life experiences that have really already shaped how they see things. And teens, just like I said, they're moldable.
We're just highlighting your comments, and we're not giving free advice. But we're
This is not free. You gotta pay for this.
She's not free.
Consider this a free trial.
Come on.
We're gonna drop as we get the jewels from Krystal. We're gonna try to drop it in the chat.
I love it. I love it.
There we go. How do you connect with students who don't know what they want to do after high school?
Oh, that's easy. So how do I find students, or how do I guide them?
How do you find them, and how do you guide them?
Okay. So the finding them, still figuring that out, so we've got a couple of counselors, guidance counselors at high schools that we've reached out to, as well as a couple of college guidance people that we've reached out to. So we're trying to build those connections now. So just, and then too, in conversations, honestly, because I'm very engaged and interactive with basketball. So I get to meet a lot of young students that way. And, and even young adults, I get to meet a lot of them. And so like, even this summer, I met one gentleman, he probably 21 years old, and he plays basketball for one of the summer leagues in the city, and he's homeless and he wants to go back to school. So I connect with him just because I met him at one of the games. I talk everywhere I go. I talk to everybody, strangers. So, that's kind of it. That's the disorganized way that I meet people. But like, we don't, right now, we're still trying to formulate that, professional process to, get in the door. So, but how do I advise them? I would say it's okay that you don't know. You're not supposed to know. I mean, if you know, great. Okay. But to be honest, I can't say that that's not going to change after you matriculate, 3 years through college, because that's the thing. After you graduate and you go off to college, there are a lot of experiences in college that you see, and different people that you talk to, and the exposure is real. And, you may decide that you don't want to do what you once thought you wanted to do. My best friend came to Jackson State University to be an attorney. That is what he came to be. By the time he left Jackson State, he determined he wanted to be a U.S. Marshal. He has been a U.S. Marshal for 20 plus years at this point and doesn't regret not being an attorney. When I got to Jackson State, I just knew major in business. Okay, that's what I'm supposed to do. And then I graduated with a finance degree in business. And then I did that for about 12 years. Hated it. It was really boring to me. The repetition. I was like, good Lord, I need something else, And after my daughter graduated high school, I was like, I can blow my life up now. And at that point, that's when I switched and went into project management. So, to your original question, if you don't know after after high school, I didn't know till I was 30. So, and it may still change. It's okay. The point is you keep moving. The point is you keep going forward. You don't have to keep doing the same thing. You can change your mind. That's okay. But you keep moving. That's the important part. So that's how I guide teens at this point, and young adults too. And to be honest, a couple of older adults I've had to, I've guided because they don't want to do it, but they're so afraid to move. And it's like, why are you afraid?
Yeah, that fear stops stop you every time. We're dropping a call out in the room too, because we have a lot of folks who watch our replays. We know people do that. Like I said, we're on multiple channels, so especially for my Facebook family. I know a lot of us who know broader communities, so y'all please share this out. But if you're a parent, guardian, church member, church leader, community, whoever, we do know students, we do know young adults who are in that position where they could really use this help. It's free, y'all. Please make sure that you're connecting with Next Stage and get them what they need. So I wanted to talk about advice you might have for parents. I was just thinking about, what if my child doesn't go the traditional route? And a lot of parents, especially parents who work in corporate America, because we see the value of education every single day on the job. But what if you're a parent and your child is not selecting that as the path? What advice do you give to parents who are trying to have the conversation and with their kids?
College is not for everybody. Next Stage, as far as the scholarship, we're focusing on college. However, the guidance is not, because you have to find what you'll enjoy doing. That is the most important part. Because if you can find something that you make money at and you enjoy doing it, you'll never work a day in your life, is what they say. And it's true.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. So, it's a hard pill to swallow a lot of times, because like you said, those of us who work in corporate America, we want our children to go that route, or, to get educated and everything. But there is more than one type of education. Nowadays you've got kids starting YouTube channels. You've got, kids doing TikTok videos and making way more than I make.
Millionaires.
Opening toys and people open, he's making bank, right?
Yeah.
So, you can't shut anything down. And let me rephrase. You can't shut anything legal down.
Yeah.
let me rephrase that, because there's more than one way.
Yeah.
I have cousins that are mechanics and that are electricians, and they make as much as not more than me. So, being educated and being in corporate America is not for everybody, and that's okay. As long as your child is wanting to be a productive member of society and they're happy and they're, making enough to sustain themselves,
yeah,
let them be, I mean, the only problem I have is when they're not making enough to sustain themselves, and then you want me to take care of you while you do what you want to do. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So, other than that,
that's fair, and that's mommy approved.
we gotta get you to too.
Yeah. All right, Bella.
What do you wish you had more of?
Money.
Speaking of money,
listen, I have found out as a nonprofit that you just have to get used to begging. You just got to get used to begging. So I beg for money, I mean, because that's the only way we can, we don't like the products that we sell. And yes, Colette, this shirt is for sale. Thank you for asking.
I was like, I just got to drop that in there, right? I'll go ahead and find the link. That's a good question. Thank you for calling that out, because we love this shirt.
Thank you. But yeah, no, money is a big thing for us, because like we sell the products, but the products only bring in so much, right? So donations are kind of our heavy hitters. We're 501c3, so it's completely tax deductible, but we need more donations, because that's how we can make the scholarships larger. That's how we can do more of what we do. Like even to the point, can I talk about the brunch now, or we want to wait?
Oh, I'm ready for the brunch. I'm so excited about this.
So back to Isabella's question. She said, well, we need more. We need more donations. We need more participation. We're having the brunch. It's a brunch to give. It's November 5th at Atlanta National Golf Course in Milton, Georgia. Tickets are $50 per person. And again, it's a fundraiser, but it's also an opportunity for us to recognize the students that we're going to award with the scholarships. So, we're giving them money, but we need more money so that we can keep giving more scholarships every year, and those scholarships can get larger and larger. And, that's what we want to do. And we want to have more events. Like, we want to have a game night in February, where it's like the old school game night. Come play cards, come play taboo, come play Jenga, and dress up, have fun. We'll use that as a fundraiser. And then we'll have a gala on June 16th. And I expect you to be there, Isabella.
Wow.
Down on.
Yes.
Okay. So that will be where we award our next scholarships for next year. And, so it's like just having money and resources, and just people having, because now we're going to get to a point where we need volunteers. So, that's kind of what we need. We're new. We're only a year and a half in, not even a year and a half. I guess we're a year and a couple months in. So I'm not disappointed with where we are, but definitely the more money, the better. The more donations, the more support, the better.
Well, you guys have made a tremendous amount of progress, even though it's been a year. There are organizations that aren't at your level, and they've been at it for, I'm not shading nobody, but there's some organizations that's been around for quite long, and they haven't even, So this is really, so I'm just gonna brag a little bit on Krystal, because she won't brag on herself, and since I have zero shame,
go ahead, brag on me.
I'm just go ahead and brag, because there is a tremendous amount of work that goes into this. Is not just a labor of love, it is labor. It actually is, right? You're birthing something incredible that's serving the community. And I think a lot of times people see the end result or the end game, like they'll see the gala, but they won't understand the amount of work that it took to get there. So I wanted to find out from your perspective, as you're working to create this opportunity, which is basically serving our community, serving a lot of people who look like us, y'all. Let's just be real, okay? What goes through your mind? Like, what keeps you grounded? How do you renew your strength to say, all right, I'm back at it again tomorrow? Like, what does that look like for you?
Let's see. What keeps me grounded is knowing that I'm going to help people. Knowing that I have crossed these bridges, I have taken these, falls, And, I now have all this information that I had to get the hard way, and knowing that I can help somebody else so that they don't have to go through what I went through. Knowing that somebody else's path can be cleared, because of something that I'm doing. That gets me through the day. That helps me, get back at it, because it can be very discouraging, because you're right. It's a lot of work. I mean, even with a board, because we all have full-time jobs, including me. I've got a full-time job, but, this is like a full-time job too, because effort that goes into it. But knowing that I'm helping somebody, and knowing who I'm going to help, and knowing what this can be, when I think, okay, in 5 years, this could really be something big, because it's not about me. You can't own a nonprofit, right? So I'm just leading it. I created it and I'm leading it, but it's not mine. It belongs to the community. And, knowing that I can help and serve in that way, it's a blessing to me. So I'm selfish in that regard, because again, I get blessed. I'm getting blessings because I feel good about what I'm doing, I feel really good about, just the path that I'm on, because I realize now that God put me on this path for a reason. And this is what I've chosen, and this is where I am. And so I'm here to serve. And, that's what gets me through every day and makes me wake up the next day with my book. And, I wake up in the middle of the night because I have ideas of what I want to do. Like, I got to get it down, and so, I mean, that's what does it. I mean, it's tough sometimes, but how do I renew? On Saturdays, I usually go hike. I go into a mountain and I get a workout in, but it's more about the journey, more so than it is the exercise. And so when I get to that top, I just sit there and I look out and I see what God has created. I see this beauty, and it's nothing really. It's just trees and hills and mountains and sky. But, just to know that He created that for us, and that we are, we exist here, and just to admire that beauty and take that peace. And that's my meditation. And that's how I renew myself.
Wow.
I love it.
Wow. I actually started.
You want to go hike with me, Isabella?
No. I don't hike.
No.
She's like, no. We're sitting here like, to be Krystal on the mountain, pass the popcorn.
I love the idea, but the action I will not do.
I love, but even when renewing that, taking your time to renew your mind and receiving I love all of that, because you have to do something, especially as a visionary, you have to do something, and a creative person, to renew that, pour back into yourself. Otherwise, you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
Board or not, board meaning board members or not, you will tap out if you don't, stretch yourself and make sure you're all good.
Yeah, because I mean, 5-6 days a week, I go hard. So I need that Saturday. I need that.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Bella, before I don't want to keep, I'm sorry, I'm asking all these.
No, you're fine.
I have like 50 questions for Krystal because I just do, but I'm sorry, Bella, go ahead.
You're fine. You're doing
good. Okay. So I wanted to ask, like, as a broader community, I know I did the call out already, for, again, everybody who's watching it. Also, this goes out on LinkedIn. And so I'm going to say to the LinkedIn crowd, there's a lot of us who make quite a lot of money. Y'all can show up for the brunch because you can afford it. I'm just saying. So as a community, how can we help? Well, I know we have the events coming up, but how else can we help Next Stage Customs? Is there anything else that we could do to kind of rally around your organization, make sure you're getting the visibility that you need, or, what can we do? What else can we do to help?
Follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Facebook, follow us on IG. We have the scholarships posted, and they're shareable, so please share them. We have launch flyers posted, so please share them. If you work for a company that does matches, please, send me an email, krystalbrown@nextstagecustoms.com. .org. And let me know, what do we need to do to get approved, and vetted, so that when you make a donation, because I have every faith that you will, that you can be matched and get double the amount, If you have a company, corporate sponsorships, they help. And right now we're looking for corporate sponsorships for the brunch. And we have a package that we can provide. So, you have choices. You can be silver, you can be platinum, you can be gold, all of them. So, just, making sure that we get the word out, making sure that we can, get, engaged and just be known out in the community and start really getting those donations and the matches and the corporate sponsorships. That's big. Those are
Okay.
big.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. Another thing I was just thinking about is for at some point you're going to need those volunteers. So even doing a call out for teens who are interested in getting some hours in this. By the way, this is a little bit of branding stuff. This looks fantastic on your resume.
It does.
Okay, this makes you a unique candidate to a college. This is free advice. And I'm telling you, as a teen, this is another way that you can, you can support a legal organization.
Yes.
Okay, legal organization. You can get some hours and help you get into college, through volunteering, and you're serving your community as well. So again, throwing it out for high school seniors, especially, also for college students. This looks great on your resume when you're leaving college and trying to find that internship or in the job market. These are things that you can do to serve the community, but also serve yourself. I'm just being honest. So, make sure that you're considering these types of options. It is free and it helps both parties involved. So I want to ask, and I'm watching the time. We got like 10 more minutes, but I gotta ask some other questions because I got Krystal, y'all.
Wait a minute, before we move on, let me pick up what you said. We provide you with the letter, so that way they can confirm that you've done those hours, so you're good there.
Ooh.
Your parents can also volunteer because we're going to have a mentorship program. So don't leave your mom and dad out. If they want to volunteer, they can come on board too.
Mama.
There we go. I'm dropping it. Did she say, Mom? You know how many jobs I got? I'm dropping in there. We need That's a really good call out. Parents, this is so amazing because this is something that parents, you could do with your kids. You know how we're trying to find stuff to do with our kids now that we're no longer cool and they're older. This is one of those things that you could do where you're serving together.
You were cool?
And you're still spending. Yes, I was.
You sure?
Pretty sure. Don't shame me on housewife style. So I wanted to ask separate from this conversation, because I know you're a mom, and one of the things a conversation that has been coming up a lot is around financial literacy. So people are probably gonna get sick of me talking about this now because I can't get it off my radar and ain't going nowhere. Okay, yeah. But financial literacy is so important, and I know that you as a mom, this is something that is top of mind for you as well. And we had some guests on previous shows talking about, our teens and even young adults, that don't really have even adults who don't have a good understanding of financial literacy. We're very lucky to be partnering with an organization. We'll have them on later, and they're going to be all over our social media pages. There's an app from an organization called Seedling, and they have an incredible budgeting app and all that stuff. So shout out to them because our lives are actually going to be on their app. Okay. All right. Thank you. Shout out to Seedling and Derek Wesley. We love you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Derek. Big time. Thank you so much. So I wanted to talk about financial literacy because as I was thinking about non-traditional students, this is another area where, it's sometimes a gap if you haven't had the funds, and even the folks that have the funds don't know what to do with the funds. So what advice as a mom would you give to a teen or a young adult or a non-traditional student around maybe some lessons learned on financial literacy? And I'm asking for a friend, and I am taking notes for her. That's me. I'm asking for me.
Yes. First, I would say don't live beyond your means. That's number one. We all have wants. We all have desires. I know. I mean, I was 20 something, and but I had a 5-year-old. Y'all, like when I was 23, I had a 5-year-old, and there were things that I wanted, places I wanted to go visit, and everything else. But I had to understand that this is just not what I can do right now.
Yeah.
It's not that I can never do it, but I have to do that. I can't do it right now. And that's what you have to understand is that you got to be patient, because when you try to live, and just solely based off your wants and not your needs at a given point, then that's a recipe for disaster. So, definitely don't live beyond your means. Don't let the Joneses, sway you and what you need to be getting or what you should be driving or, where you should be living. You live where you can live. You live where you can afford.
There you go. There you go.
And that's just what it is. I mean, that's it at any age. It doesn't matter if you're, coming out of high school, coming out of college, if you're 50 years old, you do what you can afford to do. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. And I know it's hard in Atlanta because, like I remember my daughter was.
Oh, yeah.
She was looking at her friends. She was at Alpharetta High School and she's looking at her friends driving BMWs and Mercedes and stuff like that. And she's like, what, baby, you get a Camry. That's what we can do. Because again, I was driving nothing.
It's true.
So, that's the thing. It's like, you got to live within your means. And, you've got to make sure that you have a budget. Like you said, that budget app, I please share that information with me.
Oh, yeah. We dropped it in the chat, y'all. This is one of those, and we're going to do a review of the app. I mean, I already have I know the backstory, so I know it's an amazing app, but we're going to do it and share it out. But this is one of those like easy things that, honestly, Krystal, I think we appreciate it, but maybe younger folks don't appreciate it because, like, Bella made a joke that it was magic money. Like, things just show up, and so to her age group, it is magic money because a lot of them they haven't even had a job yet. They don't know what what it takes. Yeah. But I love that point about living beneath your means, and especially where we are in Georgia, because it's all optics here, and there are a lot of broke folks in mansions. Yes. a lot of broke folks in Balenciaga, and they're drowning in debt. So just a shout out to y'all. That's something else that I hope also that the scholarship helps someone, because this is all part of the financial literacy, right? Being able to afford some things like your education.
That's right. That's right.
Which is really important. So what do you like? What does your daughter think of what you're doing?
I don't know that she really does, to be honest.
Bet you she does.
She's in her own world. She's, she's still working through what she wants to do, big picture, And so I think she's just so involved in her own world right now that she kind of sees it, but she doesn't, it's not of interest to her. But I'm telling you, I really think in about 5 years, she's going to be like, Mom, let me be a part of this. I think she's going to be.
Oh, yes.
She's 23, almost 24 years old, but she's still, she's still figuring it out, which is okay. Yeah. But when she gets to that 30 mark, I know this is something I'll be able to pass down to her.
Oh, I love that.
So because again, I'll tell you, when I was 23, you couldn't have paid me to really volunteer, not for real. Like, I ain't getting paid. I don't want to do that. The volunteer bug and the service bug didn't hit me till much later, when I really started to understand how this world operates and works.
Yeah.
I mean, I was carrying. Look, I was carrying $60,000 of student loan debt between my bachelor's and my master's.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah, it didn't really mean anything. It was just there. I was like, I'll defer it, whatever. I wasn't worried about it. I was like, I'll ride with it, whatever, But then as I started meeting more professional people and having more professional conversations, and I say professional because, we're not talking about clothes and cars. We're talking about
that's right.
We're talking about investments.
Yeah.
We're talking that type of stuff, right?
Yeah, real estate.
Yeah, real estate, exactly. So when I started meeting more of those type people and those became my circle, then it was like, oh no, I can't have this student loan debt. So I saved up money. I sacrificed some things, saved up money, and I don't have student loan debt. I paid it off. And, it's just like, you start realizing the things that are important. And that's why I said, when she gets a little bit older, I think she'll really kind of start getting this surface bug. But right now, she just sees what I do and she's like, okay. Mama always is. She,
yeah. I hope that's not what my daughter thinks.
No.
Okay. Because she's this is a family business. It became a family business really last week, but
yeah.
Dad was promoted. but yeah, no, I was just also thinking about, like, as I'm sitting, the moment's hitting me, like in this actual moment right here, it literally just clicked. about the power of Black women. It literally just like smacked me in the head just now because I'm sitting here taking in how powerful you are, Krystal, and how you're using your seats of influence to do stuff for other people, and all of the everything that goes into that, and just the way that you're impacting and changing lives, like for real, y'all, like for real, changing lives. Okay, I mean that to me, and then I'm watching my daughter, who is a part of what the doors that you're opening for her as well as a businesswoman. That is not lost on me. So as you were talking about your daughter, I was just sitting here like, oh, I bet she it will absorb, it will hit her. So I just want to say, as Krystal's friend to her baby girl, that your mom is incredible. What she is doing is not common. It's not something that everybody does. This is a whole different level of self-sacrifice and servant leadership that a lot of people will never do, because they also will not receive and walk into their purpose. It's a whole different level. So I personally appreciate that. And I really appreciate the example that you're setting for my daughter, because you just gave her somebody else that looks like us that she can look up to. You know what I mean? It's like, for real. Like, I know Bella, I know in her head, she's like, wow, she's really built this thing, right? I know her. Yeah, she's just like, this lady did this, right? That is really huge. And so just from the community, we are so grateful for that, because you're doing so much for the rest of us. And you know, it's like I said, it's not common, y'all. This is special people stuff. That's why she's on this show. Okay. That's why we're on here talking about all of everything that this organization has to offer. So we got about 4 more minutes, and I wanted to find out what you wanted to be remembered for.
So my legacy.
Don't you make me cry. Don't you make me start crying either, because I don't have any more tissue.
You know, it's funny that you asked that though, because I literally thought about that the other day. Like, I have a friend that is, I'm gonna make you cry, but I have a friend, he's dying from pancreatic cancer, stage 4. 53 years old, okay?
Wow.
54 now, he made 54. So, you know, it makes you realize how short life is and how unexpected things can happen. You don't always get the time that you think you're gonna get. So, you know, what I wanna be remembered for, what I want my legacy to be is that I lived. Is that I lived. I literally took every moment that I had and I enjoyed life. I made my dash worth it, and I gave and I served, and you know, people will remember me for doing not only that, but for living, like, because I travel and I love travel. So yeah, I'm trying to be both, you know. I'm trying to be this adventurer, but I'm also trying to be this servant. So, you know, however I can make that happen, we gonna come together, you know. But like, that's what I want to be remembered for, is that I lived and that I served. So as long as that can be on my headstone, well, I don't want a headstone. So as long as that can be on my headstone, I'm good. I'm good.
Oh my gosh, that is so powerful. I lived. We're gonna we need to hashtag. We're gonna hashtag that. I lived, and that again, and it shows in your work, and it shows in the love that you have for what you do. And we are so grateful for everything that you're doing. Absolutely no doubt that this organization is going to just keep growing and expanding and serving the community. And we are just thankful for you being here. Y'all, I'm trying to keep the glasses, stop the glasses from fogging up, but she made me cry. So and I'm not ashamed. That's my friend. That's my friend. That's my friend. So before we go, I just want to remind everybody, we've dropped the link to the site in the chat. Please make sure you go out and check out the events that are coming up. You know, come to the brunch. I'll be there, and I can't wait to see whoever shows up. Y'all bring your money, honey. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We're doing it for good. Okay, we're
having silent auction. We're having a wine pool. Listen, silent auction goes live November 1st. There's gonna be some good stuff in there. I'm telling you.
Oh, I love that. And also check out the site, because there are some really cool, I think I saw bath salts, right?
Bath salts.
Okay.
Bow ties.
Bow ties. Okay, I'm just gonna throw out the bath salts. If anybody is looking to buy me gifts and stuff, y'all can go and buy some bath salts. It's holiday time, thinking early Christmas gifts. Get those gifts. Shop your gifts early. Go on and stock up. These, the money does go towards a really good organization. So please come out and support. The link is in the chat, and you can see it here, nextstagecustoms.org. So with that, we're going to hang out in the back for a few minutes, and then we're going to tell these people. Thank y'all for watching.
Peace.
Thank you, Krystal.
You all, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll hang out in the back for the after party.
All right, let's hang out. I'm ready. Look, I got my drink. Let's go. Got my water.
Party started. Nobody else is invited.
Mm-hmm.
Deuces, everybody.
Peace out.